what monsters should come back for RTD2? Were you looking for this big epic intro? Yeah, let's get into it. Now, first of all, I think it's important to talk about our three heavy hitters. The Daleks, the Cybermen, and the Master. Now for me, the Daleks are not on my list, because they shouldn't come back for a while. I don't know about you, but I've been finding a lot of Dalek stories good to very meh. That's not to say that there weren't ones that were any good, but I haven't enjoyed many of them. And I just think we need to build up that fear factor, make it when the Daleks come back that it's an exciting prospect and not just a, oh, it's the Daleks. By the way, if you want a full video on that topic, I'm going to leave it on the end screen and in the card, so bang in. Now the Master, I definitely want to see come back. Because with the Master, you can do a lot of interesting things. You can use the Master to elevate a secondary villain, you have this brilliant Doctor-Master relationship that I love to build up through an era. Also think as a character with no prosthetics, while I love a lot of the Doctor Who prosthetic stuff and robotic stuff and all that stuff, that villain that you have that almost human actor connection with, I think it gives that interesting factor, and I'd be really keen on seeing the Master make a comeback in RTD2. Now I'm also going to say I would like to see the Cybermen come back, a lot. Don't worry, we are going to get on to some more interesting choices, give me a minute. But think about it, whenever the Cybermen have appeared, apart from some stuff before the Master shows up in Series 12, the Cybermen seem to just act as a puppet for the Master. Happened in the Series 8 finale, happened in the Series 10 finale, and happened in the Series 12 finale. I'm not saying this pairing doesn't work, I actually think it was quite cool in Series 8 and had some elements that worked in other series, but my god is it getting stale. And that's why I want the Cybermen to come back, because for a while now they haven't felt like their own characters. They felt like the Master's puppet, and therefore I need to see them come into their own again. Plus, Russell only did like 2 stories, 3 if you count the finale of Series 2, with the Cybermen, so I'd be very open to see him doing something new with them, making a comeback. And them making a comeback. Why do I not do grammar? Now my third choice is gonna be the Rani. Again, like I talk about with the Master, there's a human, interaction and connection that you have with a villain that has just a human actor to them, and that sort of stuff really interests me. I think you could do a lot with another Master Rani pairing up. I think that could be really cool. Maybe even with the gender swaps, there's a male Rani and a female Master. That could be really cool. And again, maybe this might help make some form of clearer canon, because if we keep doing the Master, if we want to take a couple of seasons break with the Master, but we still want that type of villain, if we bring the Rani in, it still gives that similar-ish sort of presence without messing with the canon. Because I still think some explanation or some way of working out how we went from, obviously we know how it went from John Smith to Michelle Gomez, but then how did we then, all the Sacha Dhawan stuff, because obviously Michelle Gomez turns good, and then we have bad Sacha Dhawan again, so it's all a bit messy. Number 4, the Sontarans. Now this is purely a nostalgia pick, but it's my list, so if you didn't want my nostalgia picks, why click on my video? Go make your own YouTube video. And now I know they've been done recently. Yeah, but meh. War of the Sontarans was quite good and quite fun, but then it got ruined by the chocolate scene, and I just want whoever thought that was a good idea, I just want to strangle them, because ugh. Someone who grew up with the Sontarans being their favourite monster, loving the Series 4 episode, loving all their appearances in Classic Who, then the Sontarans kind of came a bit too much of a joke with Strax, who, yeah, can be a funny character, but I feel like the Sontarans lost what made them this really cool, iconic Doctor Who villain. They are this great villain where you get to do some comedic moments with their mindsets and the way they do things. That does create natural good comedy. The problem is when you force Sontaran comedy, that's when they become very stale. But also, they can pose a really cool, interesting threat, and they put the Doctor in really cool situations, while giving them an iconic monster to face. That mix of the threat they face and the comedy they can bring, I think's a perfect balance, and I think they have a place in the future of the show. Maybe a season or two down the line. Number 5, I'm gonna say the Silence. And obviously, most commonly appearing in Series 6, this was where they were appearing all over the shop, and that was quite cool. And I don't think you can do much more with them. What I'd like to do, I think there is a place in Doctor Who for not necessarily more horror overall, but more like scary episodes that are just like proper edge of your seat scary fests. And I think the Silence and the whole concept behind the Silence, I think instead of making them almost big season bads, I think there is genuinely a way where you can have an episode that is just one of the scariest episodes of the show. Honestly, I genuinely reckon we could have a new Blink on our hands. If a decent writer, ideally someone with a horror background, came in and gave this really scary take on the Silence, I genuinely think that could be seen as one of the best episodes of the show. That's my pitch for the Silence. I don't honestly think it would work outside of that context, but that's why I want to see him come back. And finally, let's quickly bring up the Sea Devils. I think the Silurians might have run their course within Doctor Who, but the Sea Devils, I think there's stuff to do there. The more I think about the Easter special, while it had a lot of good elements, the Sea Devils within it don't work. I think they're a really cool villain who have a big part in Doctor Who lore, and I think if you bring them back on their own, or bring them back with the Silurians, I think there are interesting things you can do, and I'd like to see them. Now, what Doctor Who villains would you like to see? If you comment them, and if I get enough comments, I might do a follow-up video and reacting to your Doctor Who monsters you'd like to see in Doctor Who. Why have I gone really, ooh? And because, right, you know me, I'm a man of my word, this is the video why I genuinely think the Daleks shouldn't appear in Doctor Who for about 5 years, honestly. This is that video, because I promised it to you, but honestly, it's a good one. It genuinely is a good one. I mean, look at that thumbnail. Look at that reaction. I don't know where my face is, but look at the reaction face. I mean, wow.